All right, so I'm back in the car in the midst of probably the 18th snowstorm in the past 2 weeks here in NEPA. I'm pretty much sick of it. But that's not the only news coming out of Pennsylvania. It was announced today that Carson Wentz has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, Philadelphia Eagles, they worked out a deal. There were some reports saying that the Philadelphia Eagles were looking for a deal in the neighborhood of what the Lions got from Matt Stafford. You out your damn mind if you thought you were if you're the Eagles and you thought you were gonna get that. Newsflash, in 2020 you have, if we look at the Lions-Rams deal, you have Jared Goff. You don't have Matt Stafford. You have Jared Goff. So Colts, they get Carson Wentz. The Eagles, they get a third-round pick this year, a conditional second next year. It becomes a first if Carson Wentz plays more than 70% of the snaps, or if he doesn't, but they make the playoffs. I don't know, some deal like that. So essentially, Carson Wentz goes for a third this year and a second next year. That's what it is. Deshaun Watson's on the trade block. You figure if he goes, the Texans are going to get at least 3 first-round picks. If this was 2017, maybe not 2017 when Carson Wentz was the MVP. Actually, you know what? Even if it was that offseason after he tore the ACL, he had the MVP locked up if he didn't get hurt. So even after the ACL injury, if this was 2017, you probably would have got at least 2 first-round picks for him. But it's not. It's 2020, and I still am a huge Carson Wentz fan. I think when he was at his best, which was that 2017 season, again, it was before Patrick Mahomes was in the mix. But at that point, I thought he was the closest thing to Aaron Rodgers that I've seen. I loved watching the Philadelphia Eagles play. He was so good, off script, had a strong arm, was athletic. It was great. And the Eagles were they're a better team. They had a better offensive line. The weapons that they still currently have were 4 years younger. And I was a big Wentz guy. And then he tore his ACL. And then he came back and he hurt his back. And then 2019, he wasn't great, but he did get a little hot down the stretch and got the Eagles into the playoffs. And then this year he stunk badly, and he got benched for Jalen Hurts, and he became disposable. It's tough. That contract is huge, so the Colts are going to be taking on quite a big contract, one that is definitely not worth what he's currently playing at. He makes $30-some million a year. He's definitely not playing like a $35 million a year quarterback, not even close to it. He's not even playing like a $5 million a year quarterback. But goes back to Frank Reich, who was the offensive coordinator the year that he was going to win the MVP before he got hurt, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. As the saga in Philadelphia has gone on, the last couple of years, Nick Foles getting him out of there, it seems like Carson Wentz isn't like the most mentally strong person, which obviously in 2017 you didn't see those chinks in the armor yet, but physically he still has a big arm. He's still athletic even after all the injuries. Maybe not what he once was, but he still has potential. I think he's 27, 28. Still has some years ahead of him if the Colts can rehab him. So again, it's not the best deal in the world because, you only gave up essentially a third round and a second round. And if he could get back to his MVP levels, all right, then it's worth it. But say he gets back to being like, a top 10, bottom half of the top 10. You're still paying him $35 million a year. So maybe you don't win out on the deal. But the Colts all year, I like what the Colts have. I was on record. You could go back and watch some of these videos back in the offseason. I like their defense. Even more so now, I really like Jonathan Taylor. He came on strong down the end of the year. Michael Pittman had a very good year. He looks to be like he's going to be a good wide receiver for some time. And they have potentially the best offensive line in football. It's good. I mean, they were a quarterback away. They made it to, what was it? They won a playoff game and made it to the second round of the playoffs, I believe, or they had a close game with the Bills. I mean, Philip Rivers, he had an okay year, but he wasn't, I said it back in the offseason. If you're trying to win a Super Bowl, if that is your goal, signing Philip Rivers was not the thing to get you over the hump, and it wasn't. It got them to the playoffs. They were in the playoffs. Their team was good, and they lost. You know what I mean? Philip Rivers didn't play terribly, but he wasn't great. Like, he's not going to put the team on his back when he needs to and get them to a victory. I'm excited to see what Carson Wentz can do because, again, the Philadelphia Eagles of 2020 looked nothing like the Philadelphia Eagles of 2017. Actually, they looked a lot like the Philadelphia Eagles of 2017. The receivers were pretty much still the same. They were old in 2017. They're even older now in 2020. The line was pretty much the same. They got old in 4 years, weren't protecting anybody. So now he goes to a team with a good offensive line. He goes back to his former quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, to the head coach of the Colts. He was his former offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach when he was at his best. Carson Wentz needs to, if Frank Reich can get the mentality that I need to hit a home run on every play out of Carson Wentz and he doesn't hold the ball for what seems like an eternity, I think this could be a decent deal, and I think the Colts could be very interesting in the AFC this year, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say that they're the favorite to be in the Super Bowl for the AFC because you still got the Chiefs, you still got the Bills, you still got the Titans. So it's going to be tough, but like they're an interesting team. They were pretty good with Philip Rivers. If Carson Wentz could even get back to close to what he was in 2017, it's an upgrade over Philip Rivers. So I'm excited to see what they got. And now if you're in Philadelphia, it's the Jalen Hurts show. No doubt about it. What can they do? Can they get him some weapons? If you are drafting in the first round, I imagine that is something you need. A lot of things you need to address. Obviously, the offensive line is one of them. I don't know how much money, don't know what their cap situation is, but if I'm them, I'm fortifying my offensive line. I'm getting some receivers, whether in free agency or in the draft, better. I'm not going to make a blunder like drafting Jalen Reagor when Justin Jefferson's sitting there. I'm not going to do that one again, and I'm going to just build around Jalen Hurts, build around what he does and see what we can do. Futures are bright, I believe, for both teams, more so for the Colts because they're already built, but I like Jalen Hurts. I like what he did this year. I'm excited to see what he does in year 2. I'm excited to see the new-look Colts, and I'm excited to see where the hell Deshaun Watson goes and where J.J. Watt goes. Oh, until that happens, I'll probably be back from my car. Hopefully it's not snowing anymore. Why don't you go ahead? I'm not even going to tell you to click the video. Last video I did was after the Super Bowl. You can watch it if you want. It's here. But definitely subscribe. It's slow season, off season. Maybe I'll start doing some basketball. Probably not. But I will definitely be here when big news breaks in the NFL. So appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Don't know when that be, but I'll be here. You'll be here. And again, hopefully it's not snowing. See ya.